Despite Call of Duty being in a very questionable state right now, I have made myself a mission to play every single COD campaign from COD 4 to Black Ops 6, and I have done it. I have completed the mission, and we're going to be ranking all of these campaigns from worst to best, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright, at dead last we have Modern Warfare 3 2023. Now I think this is probably one of the few things that the COD community can all agree with me on in this video. This campaign sucked. It obviously was rushed because Activision was planning to make Modern Warfare 2 a 2-year game instead of the casual 1-year game that we've been all so used to. But as you all know, Modern Warfare 2 was not well received, leading to less money being made for the COD developers. And this led to the whole plan being scrapped and a big piece of crap being put into the COD community's hands. That big piece of crap obviously being Modern Warfare 3. This campaign saddened me because I really enjoyed the first Modern Warfare reboot from 2019. In fact, it was probably my favorite Call of Duty that I was able to play on launch. But Modern Warfare 3's campaign literally threw every aspect of the Modern Warfare trilogy in the trash. It was pointless and it was extremely lazy writing. This definitely was not a fun playthrough. Let's move on. Alright, next up we have Black Ops 3. Now, despite Modern Warfare 3 2023 having pure garbage writing and just being an overall horrible game, at least it was short. In fact, it was the shortest COD campaign ever. Though BO3 had slightly better writing, but it was extremely long and overdrawn. I think it might have actually been the longest COD campaign as well. And don't get me wrong, the writing for BO3 was still trash. This led me to having a somewhat difficult decision as to which game I should put in last. I ended up putting Modern Warfare 3 2023 last only because it was obviously rushed and the story had no purpose after Soap's death, and the conflict never being ever solved, and it really felt useless. Black Ops 3 was also a big disappointment though. It was supposed to follow after the iconic campaign of BO2 and drastically failed. It did not have anything to do with BO2, and there were only a few references of BO2 here and there, but overall it was stood as something completely different, not to mention the story they ended up making sucked and it made no sense. They tried way too hard to make this campaign unique and it ended up making no sense at all. I can just see the developers in my head thinking to themselves that they were geniuses for making such a campaign, and little did they know what the consumers would think of this awful campaign. I mean, how do we go from Martyr Me for Cortus DA to Train Go Boom? I mean, come on, man.
Outcome? Train Go Boom.
Alright, next up we have Black Ops 6. Now, from what I've seen, this campaign was a highly praised one when the game first released. What did I think? Well, I thought it was absolute dog poo-poo. This campaign once again tried way too hard to be unique, and though this time the campaign made more sense, it just didn't feel or play like a Call of Duty campaign at all. If I'm playing a COD campaign, I'm not going to want to see zombies and weeping angel-like mannequins. It's just not COD. If I wanted to play a horror/action game, I would play a game in which that genre fits to be in. I mean, COD is a war game, and even though war is horrific, I know for a fact that it doesn't have gas that makes you see zombies. Not to mention, almost every mission in this campaign felt way too drawn out. I appreciate games that give a longer campaign to its consumers, but I only like that if the game itself is fun to play. This campaign just really sucked in my opinion. I hated the villain and the story of this one in a big way, and I seriously don't understand how people like this campaign. Let's move on. Alright, number 14 we have Vanguard. Vanguard is one of the worst received COD games in the entire franchise. It did really feel like they took Modern Warfare 2019 and put a World War II skin onto it and said that'll do. Though despite that, I feel like this campaign wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be. Yes, it definitely wasn't super good nor an accurate depiction of World War II, but it still definitely isn't as bad as people say it is. There were some missions that I thought were truly not all that bad. The thing that I will say is the reason that I put this campaign in this spot is because of how forgettable the campaign is after you're done playing it. I really can't remember much about this campaign after playing it. It's like one of those games that's sort of fun while in the action of playing it, but once you're finished, it's just a story that stays in the back of your head. I think this is a good spot for this one. Alright, number 13, we have Ghosts. Ghosts in a lot of ways is like Vanguard, and it's just a slightly better story. It was once again another forgettable campaign, and I will say due to it having a better story than Vanguard, it was less forgettable. And another thing I will say about this campaign is that I feel like the graphics were way worse than what came before it, which is something I'm not counting against the game. It's just an observation. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree with that. because I was kind of confused when I first saw the graphics to this game. Alright, number 12, we have World at War. And I know a lot of you watching this video are probably about to click off of the video now after seeing World at War so low on the list. But I just want you to hear me out. A lot of people say this is the best World War II theme campaign in the franchise due to its realistic depiction of war. And I will say that I agree with this being a more realistic and gritty World War II campaign, but in my eyes it just wasn't a very memorable or fun one to play. In my eyes, a video game is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to capture you and make you care for the game and the characters as well. And in this game, I feel like they focus way too much on the realism instead of making well-written characters and moments within the game. The only somewhat memorable characters in this game are Reznov and Dmitri. I will say the relationship with each other was fairly memorable, but even towards the end when Dmitri is shot while holding the Soviet flag, I still thought it was underwhelming, which is why I'm putting World at War so low on today's list. Alright, at number 11 we have Black Ops Cold War. Now, this game had to be one of the worst multiplayer experiences I've ever had in a COD game, which led me to hate this game so much that I didn't even bother to play the campaign. Though after playing it for this video, I was pleasantly surprised by what I was missing out on. I thought this campaign was actually pretty good. Treyarch had finally found a way to make a campaign that was unique, but also fun to play as well. The story made sense, the level design was very well done, and it also brought back some memorable characters from Black Ops 1 and 2, such as Woods, Hudson, and Mason, and it felt like a very modernized version of the classic Black Ops games as well. I think this is a good spot for it on the list. Alright, now we're starting to get into the good campaigns. Number 10, we have Modern Warfare 2 2022. I feel like what happened to me in Cold War by not liking the multiplayer so much I just didn't feel like giving the campaign a chance happened to a lot of people on Modern Warfare 2 2022. I agree that the multiplayer wasn't good in this game, but the story to this game was actually pretty good in my eyes. The characters are great. We were introduced to Soap and Ghost Friendship and some new characters as well. There are definitely some things I didn't quite like about it. A big one being the lack of the use of Farah in the game. I feel like they made her such a good character in Modern Warfare 2019, and then they just kind of forgot about her in this sequel. Her character definitely deserved to be in the spotlight more than she was. Though besides that, I really had fun with this campaign. I really also liked how they didn't just follow the same exact footsteps as the original Modern Warfare 2. They made changes while also keeping some similarities here and there. Alright, at number 9 we have COD 4, the one that pretty much started it all. Now, don't get me wrong, COD 4 was a very good campaign and a good start to the original Modern Warfare trilogy, though I still think it is a tad bit overrated. The mission design was ahead of its time. It was what started the Call of Duty we know today. But the only problem I had with it is the villain. I feel like his introduction was very cool, but compared to the villains we get later in the trilogy, such as General Shepard or Makarov, he's very underwhelming. I will say that the entire mission with the nuke is perfection though. Definitely my favorite mission in this game. It brought tension to the story and it made you sit there at your screen with your jaw dropped just thinking to yourself, oh my god, did that just happen? It was such a great addition to the story and a perfect element of surprise. Though, due to its villain, this is where I'm going to put it on today's list. Alright, at number 8 we have Infinite Warfare, the last futuristic era COD game that had an absolute trash multiplayer and one of the most disliked videos on YouTube with its launch trailer. What a game. I will say that all of this is true, but the campaign to this game is a gem that a lot of people have yet to discover due to the multiplayer being so trash in this game. This campaign reminded me heavily of the game Titanfall 2, which came out actually a week before Infinite Warfare did, which makes me suspect that there were some conversations between both development teams behind the scenes. Anyways, point is, I really did enjoy this campaign. It brought so many memorable characters such as Reyes and Nora, and my personal favorite Ethan, who's actually a robot in the story. But what I really enjoyed about this campaign was not just the characters themselves, but also the relationships they had with one another. I will also say that the weapon design and the setting design were super cool and well done in this game. You may think it's a little silly to have a serious war game like Call of Duty become some people fighting with laser guns in different planets, though at least in my eyes, they made it work. Alright, number 7 we have Advanced Warfare. And is it just me, or did the graphics for Advanced Warfare back in 2014 look even better than what COD graphics look like today? I thought this game looked really ahead of its time. Not only that, but the story and the gameplay were also phenomenal as well. Now, I will mention Advanced Warfare was my first COD game, so I might be speaking out of a little bit of nostalgia, but I also didn't play this campaign back in 2014. In fact, this was the last campaign I ended up finishing for this video. Anyways, I think this game was very good. I love the villain who was played by Kevin Spacey. I thought the way they made him look like a good man looking out for his country to a man who was storing lethal gas and a bunch of dead bodies in Rainbow Six Siege alpha packs was very well done.
So this is Iron's vision for the future.
Elite!
He's insane.
They made me hate the villain after seeing what he's done behind the scenes. I also thought the characters that we follow, such as Mitchell, Gideon, and Ilana, I think her name was, were super great as well, along with their relationships with each other. It was a very, very good game. Alright, at number 6 we have World War II. I know the people who think World at War is better than World War II are going to be upset with my choice on this one, but this is my honest opinion. I really did love this campaign. I loved the characters, and I loved the brotherly relationships between the soldiers in this game. I know I've already said a couple times that for other CODs that I love the characters' relationships with each other, but this one in my eyes has that vibe the most out of any other COD campaign. I also loved the storyline with Pearson and how he was a broken soldier. At times I hated him and his actions, and then at other times I thought he was a really, really cool character. And towards the end you realize how he does truly care about his men, despite the fact that he doesn't often show it. Even if people say this COD was worse than World at War, and that World at War was a more realistic depiction of World War II, I still think this one made for a better story and gaming experience, which is why it's so high on the list today. Alright, at number 5 we have Modern Warfare 2019. Now this is my favorite overall Call of Duty. This campaign was so good. Also, I thought it was a great depiction of war and terrorism around the world. In this campaign there are a lot of moments that are really brutal and a lot of difficult decisions you're forced to make. And in my eyes, the mission Piccadilly was the perfect hook to the game. And it's what got me into this whole binging Call of Duty's campaign vibe. I really didn't play campaigns before this until this game, and this really set me on the campaign streak. But anyways, the characters in this game are phenomenal. I truly love this version of Captain Price and his charisma. He can either be a really, really nice ally or become your worst nightmare. He is actually my favorite Call of Duty character of all time. Even in Modern Warfare 3, he remained a good character despite the game and story itself being awful. Love this game and always will. This is definitely the best Modern Warfare reboot game we've had so far. Alright, at number 4, we have Modern Warfare 2 2009, the OG. When I played this game, little did I know going into it how good this campaign would be. We have the most epic depiction of betrayal in COD ever with General Shepard, and another evil character named Makarov, who is the embodiment of evil. He's like the Michael Myers of Call of Duty. The game, despite the controversies following it, made the mission No Russian as a way for the player to truly hate and despise Makarov in the highest amount possible. Seeing him just mow down an entire airport full of innocent civilians with an LMG was a really risky move by the developers, but I'm overall glad they did it and didn't pull their punches, because if they did, Makarov definitely wouldn't be the iconic villain he's known to be today. I also love the mission where you actually are forced to attempt to team up with Makarov in order to get intel on Shepard in order to hunt him down. It was such a brilliantly made game, definitely one of the best there is. Okay, now we get to the top 3, and I'm not gonna lie, this was very hard to rank. At number 3, we have Black Ops 1, and yes, I know that you all are probably thinking this is in the number 1 spot, and to be fair, that used to be the case for me as well, but as I kept playing more campaigns, it slowly went down to the number 3 spot for me. Though this campaign still was phenomenal, and I love the way they connect World at War with the story by putting Reznov in the game. And I thought Reznov was also way more memorable and more of a badass in this campaign than World at War as well. This campaign was just full of surprises, and finding out Reznov was dead the entire time at the end was such a well written plot twist, especially after finding out he's the reason Mason is seeing the numbers, and the whole storyline with him hijacking Mason's brainwashing in order to kill Dragovich. Though I will say Dragovich was one of the cons towards this campaign somewhat, due to him not being as memorable as a villain as some of the other villains in the COD franchise. Although I will say I still hated him and his motives in the game, I just didn't despise him like the next 2 villains we're going to talk about next. All in all, this is a very hard choice to put this in number 3, but it's my honest opinion. And those who say it's number 1, I definitely understand why you would say that. Alright, at number 2 we have Modern Warfare 3 2011, the OG Modern Warfare 3. Once again, this is definitely one of my hotter takes in this video, but if I'm being completely honest with my rankings, I'm sorry, this is where it belongs. I think this is by far the most underrated COD campaign of all time. I've seen countless people say that this game was a horrible end to the OG Modern Warfare trilogy. Well, I thought it was a perfect seal to the trilogy, and I even think it was better than the other 2 games in the trilogy. It all goes back to what I said about World at War and COD World War II. I think that when the COD developers focus too much on realism, it in most cases makes a less fun product. So when I saw all the crazy action-packed missions that Modern Warfare 3 had to bring, I was in awe because it was so much fun. And the story was great too, but what really carried this game to this spot on the list was the gameplay and the non-stop action this campaign had to bring. I mean, come on, you get to see the Eiffel Tower fall and an entire presidential plane crash and split while also fighting terrorists on board. This game's introduction felt like back-to-back wins for me. There were countless moments in this game where I was just in awe at how awesome the action was. I can't believe so many people have the audacity to even think this campaign wasn't a good one. It blows my mind. But anyways, great campaign. Alright, and at number 1 today, I know a lot of you probably already know what this one's going to be. We have the iconic Black Ops 2. This campaign is just so good, and I really don't see it being beaten anytime soon, especially with the stuff Activision is pumping out nowadays. This game is pure perfection. It is truly the Dark Knight of COD. I think what really carries this game home is the writing and the iconic villain Raul Menendez. Raul Menendez is always one step ahead of everyone else, and he is such a good villain. He is like the Joker of COD. The fact that he is responsible for killing both Mason and Hudson and immobilizing Woods truly shows how smart and evil his character is. And the backstory with Woods ending up accidentally killing Mason was just the cherry on top. I also wonder to myself who came up with the idea to make Black Ops 2 futuristic, especially after the previous game took place back in the Cold War. But whoever came up with that idea and the connection between past and future, I hope they got a raise, because that was a genius idea and it definitely made for one hell of a game.
Murder me for Corvestie.
Anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below your rankings and your favorite COD campaigns. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.